They took it off or put them on, so they
Well, thank you everybody for showing up today. How was everybody's Tuesday so far? Yeah. Anybody feeling tired from the weekend or from yesterday or worn out from business? Is everything
energized from yesterday.
Good. 4:30? This morning doing what?
Doing the offers over and over so I can learn. Just making my own.
I like that.
Pretend.
Dedication, consistency. Yes.
Yeah, I was up to 4:30. Look, I'm all
Very
I had
good.
to force myself to go to bed at like 2:30 this morning.
Yeah, I was up.
Yeah,
The
I was
officers
like,
would have been.
I was still wired. I'm like, go to bed, go to
How
bed.
do you force yourself to go to bed?
Shut my computer and go
Close
lay
your
down.
eyes.
Yeah, and then I sat there and I'm like, okay, I can't sleep, I can't sleep, I can't sleep.
Counting houses?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. So whose first time is it to week 3 training? Okay.
I remember.
Yeah, I know, it's been a while. So week 3,
Oh yeah.
we're gonna talk about your database being your business and then creating that online exposure. So one of the things I love about this and most of these trainings is it's not too overpowering and too high tech. We really kind of, and what I like to do is bring things back more to the basics. I think if we see everybody running, we all tend to run. But why are we running? And what's the purpose of running? Right? So let's bring that back to real estate. We see a lot of people, and I know early on in my career, I would see a lot of people list homes, and I thought, okay, well, I want to be a listing agent. So what do? I market to get a listing, right? And then I get the listing, and I put it on the MLS, and then I hold an open house. And my job was supposed to be done.
No.
And that's what I would do over and over and over early on in my career. And I would lose so much potential business because I was missing one key thing. And it was called a database. And I lost probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars because I didn't have the database. Now I had all the other business creating that wealth, but I didn't have the core. So today I want to talk about that core and why that core is so important and what we really could and should be doing to generate a database, right? And then of course creating our online presence. We talk a lot about that, but I am going to take you back to a little bit of why should that online presence be very visible. So today is our module 3, and I messed up on this slide because next week we're not going to be here. We're going to be in Vegas for the summit. So next week, module 4, there will be no training, but when we come back next Friday, mark your calendars, it will be our monthly meeting. And in the monthly meeting, we're going to talk a little bit about what we experienced at Vegas, what we're bringing back, not cash, but what we're bringing back from Vegas as far as what the company's rolling out. So really exciting times next Friday, so hopefully everybody can be here for that. All right. How to get predictable business from your database. Some of the learning objectives today, the 4 irrefutable laws of managing your database, and then another one that I really like is utilizing a CRM, or client relationship manager. So if all of us could say this together, I am happy, positive, and have a can-do, solution-oriented attitude. Like I say to a lot of our friends, don't come to me with your problem, come to me with a solution, right? So, and I think that goes the same for us. We really need to be solution-oriented. We have that attitude, nothing can fall apart. You can have 2 dead rats. You can have 3 dead rats. Of course, the buyer's not on board, it doesn't matter, right? But we need to be able to have that solution-oriented attitude. All right, importance of a database. Who can tell me why a database is important?
Tracking your leads so you know where they're coming from, where your advertising dollars are being better spent.
Yes.
So you have a pipeline.
Yes, I love it. Both extremely well answers. In fact, class is over.
Sweet.
That's where we could end it. Well, let's take a look at the actual importance of a database, right? It is the core value of our business. Any business owner knows that without a database, their business is solely reliant on their efforts. In other words, if your business stops, then you stop. If you stop, your business stops because you're 100% relying on yourself. That's a hard thing to think about, right? I was looking at some of the agents' productions from a few agents in the area who went from 25 million in sales last year down to 21 million in sales this year. $4 million. And I'm thinking, well, why? What is the purpose for agents to lose production after you come off of a very big high? And so one of the things that when talking to a couple of them was they just stopped working their database. And now their database is no longer producing income or revenue for them. Your database is also an exit strategy from the business and a retirement plan when you're ready. I was talking to a broker in Tracy, and I asked the broker, when are you going to retire? And the broker says, never. And I said, you love the business that much? The broker said, absolutely, I love it that much. I'll never retire. He says, as long as I'm alive and breathing, I'm going to run this business. And I said, well, what happens when the day comes and you do sell? What do you do? He said, well, I've been preparing my database for the last decade. I said, your database? This was a while back when I had this conversation. And I thought, what do you mean your database? Like, I don't even really know what that means. And he said, well, it's a list of my database. It's organized, it's structured, it's fully tailored and fine-tuned, and I'm going to sell it. And I said, well, like, how much? Millions of dollars. I thought, you're kidding me. How can you sell a database for millions of dollars? Well, when you're making tens of millions of dollars a year, as one of the top brokers in an area, and you have all of this database that's paying you 70 to 80% referral business, you eventually just sell the database and you stop working. Oh, that's an incredible concept. So, database is the core value of our business. If we don't have the database, we're going to really be working on a lot of other things, but we'll never have that core strength. What can a database deliver? One of the things I want to make a point of is to know that it can take 6 to 12 months to season one contact. Okay, and we're going to talk about stamina, right, and why we shouldn't give up on a contact or a lead. 70 to 80% of a real estate agent's business will be repeat and referral for the life of their career if you have a database. The object, though, is to create a 30 to 40 business connection every single year using emails, personal touches, social media, direct mail. All that's going to give you consistent long-term referral business, right? So the purpose of having the database is obviously to get referral business so that we can stop relying on just home of the days, right? Or open houses, weekend after weekend, and going on and on and on about everything. That's wearing us down, right? Sometimes we see results, sometimes we don't. The database takes care of that. That is our core, okay? And we'll talk about this campaign. I have an annual campaign that's absolutely tested. It's tried, it's true, it works. And so we'll talk about that in a couple seconds here. Moving on to planning our work and working our plan. So the 30-40 connection plan has proven to be highly effective. It should be a combination of different types of connections that you're going to have to your database. Remember, your database might only be one person. One person. Maybe it's 2. Maybe it's 5. The goal is to get 25 minimum in your database, right? Obviously, the goal is to stay top of mind. But how many connections do you have? What type of connections do you have? How often do you touch on them? And of course, if you're paying for these leads, how much is it going to cost you? And if you're not paying for those leads, where are you getting them from? And how can we find them? So let's look at the example that I mentioned of a tested annual database campaign. Imagine one person is all you have, okay? One person. You're going to send them a monthly printed newsletter, which we have templates for. You're going to do that for one person. That's once a month. That's 12 connections this individual is going to have from you. You're going to send market updates, 12 connections. Quarterly personal contact, a call, a text, or a visit, 4 connections, a birthday card, Happy New Year card, whatever holiday card you want to send out. The campaign for one individual adds up to 30 plus connections annually. It means your client's going to see you 2 to 3 times per month on average, and it will be virtually impossible for that one lead to not think of you when it comes time to selling real estate, right? Or buying. And of course, if you're connecting with your clients on social media like we push really hard, you're going to start getting serious engagement on this 2 to 3 time a month average that they see your name is going to shoot up to 4, 5, 6 times a month. The object is to stay top of mind. And if you take this annual database campaign and you apply it to one person, that's 30 plus touches. It's pretty overwhelming if you think about it, right? So, most common failure, and I'm so glad you talked about tracking results, the most common failure that a real estate agent does in their business is they fail to track their results. Why is it important to track your results? Jen kind of touched on it, but why? Why is it important to track them? Who can tell me? Who's tracking their results? What do you notice when you're tracking your results? What's one of the biggest things you've noticed?
I notice what is and isn't working, and then I can tweak my marketing plan accordingly, or my what money I'm spending on advertising, I can change that.
Right, right. I love that. I think that's exactly what it comes down to. When I was farming in one area in Discovery Bay, probably 6-7 years ago, I was farming in an area in Discovery Bay, and I kept farming over and over and over, and I thought, you know, I'm not getting any real results. And so I did what a lot of agents would do, is I just gave up. But I went to another area, and I actually started tracking where those results were coming from. How often was I going out? What material was I putting out? And I was able to start making corrections here and there. When I would get phone calls off of one letter when it went out, I started using that letter again. And when that letter stopped getting phone calls, I created a different version of that letter. Like you can course correct when you're going throughout the process of whatever it is you're doing. But you have to track those results. I think everybody last week got a copy of, was it last week or the week before? You got a copy of my Excel sheet that showed where all the business is coming from. Paula emailed that out. If you didn't open the email or you don't have it, tell Paula and she can send that to you. But it has every single thing on there that you need to be able to track your business. Where it's coming from, what cities, percentages. It's pretty in depth, but it is fun when you can look back and say, I know exactly where I got that business from. I know exactly which marketing content worked. I can't wait to do it again.
Then you double down on that.
Double down on that, absolutely. You know, you start opening up into different areas.
Because your Zillow percentage is only 7%.
Right.
Which is, you know, you think that it's going to be higher because they're sending you all those leads, but if they're not converting, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
The cost of lead acquisition could go from 500 to 2,000.
Right.
What was that template called?
Which template?
The Excel one.
I don't know what she titled it. I think it was just actually quite a few different things she sent in that email.
And I'm trying to get my CPA to update it so it'll automatically populate the
Fields for you.
fields for you.
The reason I don't like the data fields to be populated right away is because I want everyone in here to be able to run your business first, right? Do it the hard way, put some effort into it, but to your point, if you're at that level where you just need it to be automated, have it automated, you know, and then send it out to everybody. I love that.
Well,
Great job.
When I get it done, I'll send it out.
That's perfect. Yeah, thank you. But again, the most common failure is not to track our business. If you're spending $350 a month on Realtor.com and it's not producing, stop spending the money on Realtor.com and move to a different, or maybe change your zip code. Or maybe move to a lead generation system that's more exclusive, right? There's lots of things you can do, but if you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting different results, well, it's the definition of insanity. And we don't need to do that, right? We don't want to be the rat in the wheel that goes nowhere really fast. Let's just course correct, track our results. You have that from last week. The 4 irrefutable laws of database. Took me about 9 attempts to say this properly last night. Irrefutable. I don't know why, but I couldn't do it. First, build it. Okay? Build your database. Second, feed it daily. Third, nurture it. Fourth, maintain it. Build a database. Right? First rule in building your database. This is as simple as we can possibly make it, bringing it back to the basics. The center circle says past clients, friends, and family. These are the people that are the closest to you, that have either done business with you or they will do business with you in the future. Okay? The second circle is down here. These are the people that you've met and who know who you are, and these are the people that really need to be trained to think of you when they hear the word real estate. So they're sitting out at a restaurant, and someone says, hey, I think about buying a home. Oh, I've been trained to know that you've got to utilize Rebecca. You've got to utilize Sharon, right? Robert's the go-to guy. That's what you want with these outside circles. And then, of course, the outer circles, this is limitless opportunity. Website, online ads, direct mail. These are people that we don't know yet, but that we come in contact with and should come in contact with quite often. If we don't have a lot of people signing up on our website, it's because we're probably not driving people to our website. And when people go to your website, they hit that sign up button. Real simple. It's powerful, and it's now a lead that you have. You've got a name, an email, and a phone number. Right? We want to be intentional about that. So this is building your database. What I would encourage every one of you to do, and I think we'll talk about it shortly, is to start thinking about who's in your circle. Are they past clients? If you're new to the business and don't have past clients, maybe it's a next door neighbor, right? And how many next door neighbors do you have that know you that you think would refer you business? Dig deep, spend 15, 20 minutes on your own time, and try and figure out some of these bubbles. You have a blank circle in your workbook that Paula emailed out. Start working on them. Obviously start within. Please don't do the rookie mistake as seasoned agents or even rookie agents and not tell people that you sell homes. Not tell people that you help people buy homes, because it's horrible when your aunt or your uncle says, "Oh my God, we just bought a home." How? How did you just buy a home? Well, we forgot to tell them what we do, right? Don't make that mistake.
Don't be a secret agent.
Oh, you saw my slide somewhere? Okay, begin with a handwritten list. Here's what I'd recommend, okay? If you're taking notes and you don't have a database, here's what you do. Start with the top 5 people who you know that will do business with you, or at best refer you business. You're going to keep writing until your page is full, or that you've reached a minimum of 25. You got to dig deep, and if you don't have to dig deep, perfect. You're going to start seeing results much quicker. Okay? Everybody understand that? Pretty simple? All right. Create your contact list. Once you have them written down, you've got everybody in your database that you think should be in there to start with. Then we're going to create your contact list. You're going to choose your CRM. We all have Sync. Everyone in here has Sync. You've got a very well organized CRM. You just got to build it like any CRM, right? And when you use a CRM properly, it's going to provide leverage in your business. It's going to allow you to automate the touches and the communication to and with your database. It's going to keep your business organized and efficient. I'm going to show you why a CRM will keep you organized and efficient. And then I'm going to show you hundreds of leads that I just got in the last, I don't know, we'll go back to June. I'll show you in my email, right? And you can see what they look like. And then you can also see the common failure that I've made, even as a business owner of my own business. You're the business owner of your own business, as are all of you. And I made the same mistake that most agents make. I just get too busy. And so those leads, I don't even know what's happened to them. Now I'd have to take the time and put them into the CRM, and then I start making all these excuses that I don't have time, and I could have so much more business if I just had this working for me. But I'm not taking the time to develop it. So I want all of you to go back to the basics here, write them down, and then you're going to go to Sync, and you're going to now put your leads in. Okay? Or go to your exact contact, whatever you use, right? Categorize. You're going to categorize your contacts so you can send them very specific messages. Okay? A lot of people just take leads and they throw them in somewhere and they send out a blanket newsletter that goes out all the time. Or they'll put them into a drip campaign. They have no idea if that individual still is a buyer. Maybe they're now a seller. Maybe they're now an investor. Who knows? But we just throw them in somewhere, right? So we need to organize and categorize. How does that look? If you go to CRM, you click your Sync button, you click Contacts and Leads. And you go to Groups. Sync already has 2 pages worth of ideas on how to categorize. Okay? First one says All Contacts. Second one says Bella Vista. I don't know what that is. Again, you can edit these, you can delete them, or you can create a new one. I added one in here that said Exact Contact Leads. There's loan officers, there's Manteca, there's Modesto, right? I get a lead from a Manteca property. I'm going to put them in the Manteca. And if they're a buyer, I set them up on a buyer campaign. Now I have a very specific buyer that's looking in a very specific area that's going to get a very specific email.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes.
So, 4 of those are mine. Are all of those groups shared?
No, I took it from the whole page,
Okay.
from everybody's.
Okay.
So now that I'm all in. Okay? Instant BizSite leads, right? Under Instant BizSite leads, I'm going to schedule appointments. I can put them into blogs, add their contacts, emails. The bottom line is you want to create and organize as best you possibly can. Do you see the importance of that? I think all too often when we have a database or we have a CRM platform, we just throw them in. Have to get organized. Primary goal for your database is to feed it every single day. Feed your database every single day. This is a simple system that consistently reminds us to tell the world that we own a real estate business. One of the favorite things I have written here is wear your one pin and merch everywhere you go. Okay? Do I have a one pin on? You know how many times I have been asked, what is that? Somebody even asked if I was a detective. I got really excited and I was like, yes. I was like, yeah, I'm a detective. It felt great, right? But think about it. So one of the things that I love to do is pull out my flask and I drink in class. No, I'm just kidding. But it's something that, you're out at a crab feed, right? You're out at a crab feed and you pull out a merch, right? And someone's going to be like, hey, what is that? It's a conversation starter. Are you telling people what you do? And if you're afraid to tell them what you do, have something on you that represents what you do. I love going and playing golf, right? So I take these golf balls here that say 1. And I'll use these Titleist number 2 balls. And every single person says, you're not going to mark your ball? And I tell them, no, man, my ball's already marked. I know exactly where it is. And it's a conversation starter. Now we begin to develop and build on that. Jenny, take a look at Jenny's sweatshirt. What's the sleeve say? It's a hashtag, unstoppable, right? One of our hashtags. The back of it says Realty One Group Zoom. The front has the pin, the logo, right over the heart where it's supposed to be. So that's a conversation starter. You're standing in line. I was working when I was working at the bank, I was hiring for one of the district managers, and the district manager, I said, you know what? I said, you got a bubbly personality. You seem really good, but why am I going to put you in a district in charge of, 45, 50 branches? Why? What separates you? And I don't want a cookie cutter answer. I don't want something well rehearsed. What is it? And he said, I think the biggest thing about me is I used to hate going to grocery stores and waiting in line because I was always in a rush, right? I had to get out. I had to be at a next appointment, a next meeting, had to be somewhere. And I don't like waiting in line. He said, over the years, I really realized that standing in line is the best way to create confidence. He says, now I go to the grocery store, and I'll specifically go to the longest line so I can stand there and talk to people. And I pass out my business card, and now we have conversations. And I thought, that's incredible. How many of us look for opportunities to pass out something that we have, to allow people to create a conversation with us that says, what do you do? When you tell someone that you sell real estate, first thing they say is, how's the market? And if they own a home, what's my home worth? Right? And if you can answer intelligently, you're going to really become a market expert. I thought I had another thing. I guess not. It's not a lot of merch, huh? Nope. That's it. That's all you get. Oh, Cody, stand up. Take a look at this. Cody. The one hat. Cody's got the one hat, right? He's got the one pin. Conversation starters. I have so many people ask me all the time, why do you wear a hat? I tell them because I'm half bald, right? That's why my hair looks like a rat, right? Because I want to enjoy the rat while I have it. One day it'll be gone, and everyone will say, what happened to your hair? We also have these little pop sockets. One pop socket. It's a perfect thing to put on your phone. Who wants a pop socket? Sure. Frankie. You're the loudest. Thank you. Who wants a flask? Oh, I love that.
Darn it, I said it too soon.
I'm just kidding. All right, who wants one golf ball?
Got it.
All right. Wear your one pin. And what does it say right here? To Lance's point, don't be a secret agent, right? These are tools that are conversation starters, and people are going to ask you about the market. The biggest thing is offer to share your one app with them. Get their phone number, text them your link, and then now you've got a very specific reason to follow up with people, right? Very specific reason. The 1-minute script. Who said yesterday, Sharon, you said yesterday at Mastermind Monday that you were using the Ford script, and it's working
Yes.
for you, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Let's say you're afraid to call people. One of the things that you can do is you can use the text or Facebook message with the following. Remember, this is to your database. Okay? This is a lead that's in your database that you may not be connected to yet. And you're simply just going to say, hey, Rebecca, it's Josh. Often I run across amazing updates about our MH or RI real estate market. I'd love to send them to you. Is email good for you? Sounds very generic, right? It works like a charm. It's incredible. Someone's going to say, well, you know what? We're not really thinking about selling. We were going to use it as a rental, but we do have our eye on, and then conversations open up. Or some people are just going to say, no, I don't want to hear from you. Perfect. The D word, delete. Delete them from your database if you want to. You get to choose who you want to work with. It's your business, and we'll talk about that. Biggest thing is, once you get someone to say, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to hear about the market. I followed you for the last year, and you guys have great content. You're very knowledgeable about the market. We always said if we bought or sold, we'd use you. And perfect. Let me get your email address. Right? Having that online presence is important. We'll talk about that too. So again, the object, right, for your database, for your circles, is to convert the not connected. These individuals right here. Convert the not connected to a connection. So for example, someone drives to my website because I put them there. Now I take that individual and I move them to my social media. Now I have a very specific lead that's now I'm going to begin creating a connection with. And that connection is going to be very specific. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a moment here. I'll log into my email in a moment, and I'll show you kind of what you should be doing when you get those leads. But remember, your goal is to meet them, put them in your database, and then once they're in your database, here, this portion, now they're considered connected. You want to have as many connections possible in your database, not just a ton of names. Okay? Your job once you get them is to start asking them for information. Hey, it's Josh. You went to my website. I often come across homes in areas that are extremely discounted for buyers. Do you mind if I set you up on that email? Right? Or would you like to check it on your own? I have a one app that I can send you, and you just simply click the button that says discounts, right? Price reductions. Now they click price reductions, they get everything they want. Real simple process, but we've got to work it. All right, when you're communicating with your database, you need to have a very consistent message. You should have a very branded message. And you should be striving to make these personal connections. Let's look at that. There's several basic ground rules when you're communicating. So delivering a consistent message. Every touch or contact, think about that. Every single touch or contact to your database needs to be consistent and clearly state your message. The example here is, I'm a real estate agent. I specialize in listings, specialize in buyers, commercial, and I want to work with you. It can't be any less specific than that, right? We have to be intentional. Being branded. What's the most well-known brand today? Apple. We identify the product by the brand name. There's probably lots of different well-known brands, Amazon, right, Google, but Apple's pretty damn close. Personal connections are a must. Phone calls followed by a personal handwritten note are second only to a personal visit. A minimum of 4 personal connections a year should be made to your database. 4 personal connections a year. Okay, that's not to every single person, that's just pick 4, make a connection, have them come here, sit at the cafe, buy them a beer, go out to Starbucks, buy them a coffee, right? Do something. Personal connections. Using a systematic approach allows for your contacts to become automatically seasoned without being overwhelmed. You have to make 30 to 40 contacts a year with 1 lead. Having the systematic approach is going to create it to be extremely simple. Your introduction and announcement. Okay? It's the best way to start with your database once you put them in there. If you haven't ever really reached out to your database, send them your introduction letter, your announcement letter that just says, hey, just want to make you aware that I do sell homes in Northern California. I service relocation. I work with divorce. Be bold, be intentional. Whatever it is you do, you're going to send an introduction, an announcement letter. Maybe you're going to email it to them. You're going to send them a postcard. You might send personal handwritten notes. You might do personal phone calls, right? Or Facebook messages, text messages. I personally utilize all the techniques. When I work my database, and when I was working it, I was utilizing all of these. Unfortunately, I didn't have a very good database, and I didn't have a good structure, I didn't organize it, and so everything just kind of got lost. People were getting tired of getting a monthly newsletter. Oh my gosh. The worst thing I think that we can do is to send the same thing over and over and over and get no results. It's time to change it up. Organize it. Very specific things that we send out. I still get a newsletter because I send them to myself, right, from Exact Contact just to see how many, what it looks like. It's nice content, but it just gets thrown away like a business card. Hand me a business card and I'm probably going to throw it away. I don't even have business cards from anybody that I carry. I don't know that anyone really does. Maybe some of us do in our wallets, right, or our purses or our bags, whatever, but it's not very modern anymore. Your one app is going to be extremely modern. So 30 to 40 touches at one time, easy to do when you have the follow-up system. For those of you that don't really have your database being nurtured the way it should, I'm going to give you a very simple process. Everyone has seen Star Wars, I'm sure, and there's that thing called C-3PO, right? Well, this is called the 3CLP. It's 3 comments daily, okay? You're going to go on your Facebook, your Instagram, Twitter, whatever you do. And you're going to do 3 comments a day. You're going to do 3 comment likes daily, and you're going to do 3 posts daily. This is how you communicate with your database, through social media. Okay? Very simple, and you must take the time to do this every single day. It's called nurturing. As your database grows, you must constantly update your contacts, either moving them inward towards your inner circle, which is recategorizing them, or you're going to start moving them outward, meaning they're becoming lost connections. As a business owner, you get to decide who you want to work with. I often eliminate negative, angry, and unhappy people from my database because I don't want to surround myself with people that's going to bring me down. It's just a rule that I have. I bring myself down enough. I don't need anyone else to help do it, right? Maybe that's not for all of you, but it's true for me. So, D is for delete. Clean up your database. If you haven't worked it in a long time, but you have one, go in and start cleaning it up. Get rid of people that don't need to be in there. All right, you get a lead, and it comes in. I want to show you a couple of really important statistics here, okay? First off, when you get a lead, you've either created that lead, right, with your 25 that you've written down, or you've captured a lead because you've specifically made a post, and that post on Facebook or IG tells someone to go to your website. Well, now that lead pops in. Harvard study states that a real estate agent is 100 times more likely to capture a lead if you respond in 5 minutes, right, versus 30. I used to be so dialed in that when I made a post, okay, and it was a specific post to capture home sellers, I would make the post and I would sit there for 2 hours. Treasurer knows. She didn't care. She loved it because I was dialed in. I'd wait for 2 hours. And if a lead came in, I'd respond immediately. Wouldn't wait. I would not make my post and then go pick up kids in a line where there's no reception at school. You know? I wouldn't go wait at a grocery store where I'm frustrated, lead comes in, have no cell reception. Who knows what it might be? It's not responsible. I make a post and I wait and I respond immediately. Then I have someone in a database that wants to be there, who's happy, loves it. And I've got their information, and in 2 hours, I've done everything I was supposed to do by nurturing and building that database, creating it. National Association of Realtors statistics show that 76% of all sellers, check this out, and 74% of all buyers would work with the first real estate agent they meet. If you're the first to respond, then you're 3/4 of the way there. That's huge. 75% of buyers and sellers will work with the first agent that responds. That's huge. Well, you don't pay for leads, right, on Zillow? Not all of us do. You don't spend any money, you don't budget any money, because maybe the money's not coming in yet, right? So we're not going to go dump money into leads just yet. So what do? How do you get some of those leads? Anyone have ideas, suggestions?
Open houses.
Absolutely. Open houses. Where else? What if you have no open houses to do?
Database.
Database? Yeah, absolutely. Ton of leads in the database. There should be. If not, there should be 25 after today in everyone's database.
Okay.
That's right.
Think about this. You make a post on Facebook, right? I made a post. How many likes did I get? 5? Wow, there's 5 leads. I have 5 leads now. Now I'm going to put them in my database. I created it, and now I'm going to begin to nurture it. I'm going to communicate with them. How do you communicate with someone that's in your database? Hey, it's Josh. I often come across whatever post I made that they liked or they commented, I often come across this information. I'd love to send it to you in an email if I do. Is that good? Sure. Now you've got a connection, now you've got a lead, now you begin to nurture them over and over and over. Okay? Time is of the essence, I think we understand that. Take a look at this. Question I ask is, how many attempts are you prepared to make? Watch this. 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 48% of salespeople never. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. Wow. 12% of salespeople only make 3 contacts and stop. 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. 10%. That's it. That's insane. And look at this. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. So lead comes in, and you worked really hard putting this whole, beautiful post or whatever it might be together, or you spent, your $500 and you get a lead. 2% are actually going to convert the first time they call you. So if you stop on the first time, you lost them. You've got to have stamina. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact.
So being the first agent isn't enough.
Well said. Well said. Yep. Being the first agent is definitely not enough. But if you are the first agent, 75% of the work is done. Now, close it. Set them up on your campaign so you don't forget about it. You're busy. You're absolutely busy. I hear agents tell me all the time when I ask them, how was open house? Oh, open house was great. How many people came in? 3. So you prepared, you printed, you posted, you got the whole neighborhood ready and excited, and 3 people came in. Yeah, and they're kind of frustrated. And we all know it only takes 1, right? So it's a great open house if you had 3 people come in. And so I say, well, have you followed up with them? No, I didn't really get their information. What? You did all that work, 3 people showed up, and you got nothing. It's not good. That's why 48% of buyers will always go with another real estate agent at an open house. Right? Because someone's asking for the business. Someone's asking, Frankie, do you like this home? Say no.
No.
Me either. Not for me. But I do have another house I think you would absolutely fall in love with. In fact, I'm going to send it to you right now. What's your cell number? Frankie gives me a cell number, and I send him my One App link. And I tell him, click the button that says search nearby homes. Frankie hits search nearby homes, and it pulls up, I don't care if we're in Florida, it'll pull up every single home that you're standing next to from that MLS system. And now you're looking at 40 different homes, and you can possibly get a buyer. Not because they came into that house, because 2% will never buy that home if you're holding an open house. Your job is to get a lead. Create that lead to a connection. When you have a connection, now you nurture them. But you can't do it without a CRM. You cannot do this without a CRM. It's just like arguing with gravity. You can't really fight gravity. If you jump, you will fall down. All right, moving along. Let's look at it from an opposite approach. If you make just 1 attempt to contact a lead, you've done roughly more than half your competition. If you've made 2 attempts, you've done more than 75% of your competition. Isn't that crazy? If you just make 2 attempts, you've done more than 75% of all your competition. And if you make more than 3 attempts to contact a lead, you will have done more than 90% of your competition. It is not hard, it's very predictable that you can get business from your database. And it is usually referral, 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 and repeat, and repeat, and repeat. That's the whole goal. Stop selling and now begin getting referrals. Make sense? I wrote here in gold, it's easy to win in real estate if you're willing to work for it. If you're willing to work for it. I'll say it again, I was sitting at the bank. I was just promoted to like a branch manager, I think it was. And I was sitting there at the desk and I had my head down and the line was out the door. People waiting to go to make a deposit with the teller. And I'm, sitting in the Montclair branch and I didn't want to raise my head. I didn't want to look at anybody because I couldn't help anybody. And I didn't want to stop pretending until that line was gone and I could get in my car and go home. Right? And so I have my head down, this guy walks by and he hits my table like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I look up and I'm like, yes, sir. And he says, young man, you're only going to get out of this what you put into it. And he walked off. And I thought, dang, how true is that? All these years later, we are only going to get out of this business what we put into it. And if we're willing to work for it, we are going to have tremendous success. So when you say, in June, my business is through the roof, I'm going to say, what are you doing? You're going to say, well, I've created an online presence. I've started nurturing my leads. Well, how are you getting your leads? Well, I don't really know. So now we need to create a way for you to get those leads. I'll show you all that in a little while. Make a commitment to yourself, and this is what I'm asking you to do. All right? You gotta dig deep here. Make a commitment to yourself and to your business that you are the CEOs of, that you'll make a bare minimum of 5 attempts to contact every lead without exception. 5 attempts. That's it. And we already know that if you make more than 3, you've done 90% more than your competition is going to do. All right. Converting those leads. So, pretty simple. Once you've cultivated and we've nurtured that connection, our next goal is to convert them. There's a lot of different ways to convert leads, but the biggest thing is once you get them to that level, to that point, you want to invite them into your office here. Okay? You want them to bring their kids. You want to play some PS4. Experience it. Play some ping pong maybe. Maybe have lunch up here. Do something. And while you're sitting there with this lead and they've now got that wow factor, right, from your office, and they've walked down the red carpet, which will be in here tomorrow, job's almost done. Now you sit and you ask them questions. So are you really considering buying a home in Stockton?
I don't know.
Good, because I've got an area I think you're going to love. Right? Are you considering selling your home now or in the next couple months? Couple months? Perfect. I wanted to share some data with you, Frankie, why if you wait, it can be the worst decision you will make for your family's future. Simple, right? You've been to all the monthly classes, so you know what to say. You know the monthly meetings are going to talk about where the market's headed and where it's not headed and blah, blah, blah. But you've got to be ready. You've got to be equipped, and you need to dig deep and ask a lot of questions. Your job is to close. You can't really do a good job of closing somebody if you don't know what their needs are. So I hear agents say all the time, man, I lost the deal, I lost the buyer, they didn't want to work with me anymore. Well, why are they buying? I don't know. Okay, well, how many bedrooms was a must-have? I don't know, I think they said 3. They were looking at 4-bedroom homes though. You see, we're not showing our clients that we care. So you really need to get to that point with every single lead that you have a sit-down meeting. The good thing about having an office is that you don't have to always sit in Starbucks, right? It's a great place to go, but you don't always have to be there. Someone said to me one time, hey, where's your office? And I knew this individual, not 100% knew them, but I knew of them, and I saw on their Facebook that they were eating at Red Lobster. How far is Red Lobster from here? It's 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes, not far. And they live in Mountain House. And so I said, hey, did you guys make an appointment or a reservation to go eat dinner? Yeah, we did. Do you love that place? Oh yeah, it's great. We love the food, we love the atmosphere. Oh, that's cool. So, would you want to meet me at my office? Yeah, where's your office? Oh, it's in Stockton. Oh, that's so far. Wait a minute, you just made an appointment to go to dinner at Red Lobster in the same area that you can make an appointment to come out here. And they said, you know what, we'll go out there. Yeah, you're right. We'd love to see your office. They came out and they're selling 2 of their homes. 2 of their homes. If I didn't make a connection and I wasn't intentional and I didn't drive the ship from the very beginning, they probably would have went with someone else or maybe trusted me with half the business, trusted someone else with the other half. So your job is to ask a lot of questions and get them here if you can. If you can't get them here, go to their home. You're going to have to sell it anyway. All right, constant communication with your leads. Constant communication. Who thinks communication is very important? It's important, right? Relationships, family, anything, business. An informed client is a happy client. Even if there's no news, always share that there's just no news. It's one of the greatest things I actually do is I'll send a text message to one of my clients and I'll say, hey, just want to let you know there's nothing going on. And they'll respond back with an LOL. And the reviews that I get afterwards are through the roof because they say I'm the funniest guy in the world and I communicate all the time. Well, I'm not really that funny, and I really don't communicate. I just tell you there's nothing to communicate. But that's like huge, right? So think about your business right now. If you have some buyers or you have some sellers or you have some clients that maybe were reaching out to you in the past and you kind of just dropped off, start communicating with them. Pick them back up, revive them. It's extremely important you do that. All right, look at this. The average consumer agrees that they would work with their former real estate agent if they could what?
Find them.
If they could just find them. How many of us are hidden from the public? How many, right? A lot of us just don't really have a presence. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's extremely important that we do have an online presence. What is an online presence? Circle the biggest key. It's your visibility on the internet. And check this out. The quantity, I didn't say quality, I said quantity. The quantity and data that exist about you and your business determines 90% of the time if that buyer or seller will work with you. The quantity. That's crazy. Now think about this.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So, I don't know if some of the agents might not have run into this yet, but you'll try to call an agent and their office number is on there and it's after hours, but you can't find their cell phone number, so you Google them and there's absolutely nothing. They don't have a picture, they don't have anything about them and who they are. I met with a soon-to-be ex-wife yesterday. I met with her, she's like, hope you're not creeped out, but I Googled you. There's a lot of stuff out there about you. I'm like, no, I expect people to do that. That's why it's all out there. And then she reached out to a loan officer who said I was a great guy. So that helped her put her at ease because when you're dealing with divorce, you gotta talk about communication. You have a fiduciary responsibility to both parties. So that's how I go in for the approach that I work for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I prefer group text. That way you both are getting the information. And if you're gonna complain about him, I'm not gonna say anything and vice versa, because my goal is to sell your home for you. So be present on, at least fill out your Zillow profile with your cell number, your realtor profile, homes.com, so people can
LinkedIn.
find you. LinkedIn.
I have a shirt that says, just Google me, bitch.
You know who I am over
Hopefully
here?
you've got a good presence then. You're like, I can't find you. Yeah, so to that point, every single format that you have, your website, your social media, your videos and blogs, you've got to have yourself out there, right? How many of you do videos?
Not enough. Not enough.
All right. That's good. Part of your online presence is to do videos. How many of you have Facebook? Okay. How many of you have a Facebook business account? Okay. How many of you have Instagram? Twitter? LinkedIn?
Oh, that.
How many of you have your own YouTube channel? Okay. All right. So,
Snapchat, TikTok.
moving right along, do you need an online presence? How many of you would say yes, you need an online presence?
MySpace.
Look what I've written here. The vast majority of your clients and prospective clients, and think about yourself and your family right now, okay? Use the web to search for almost every product or service they have in their daily lives. They do so either to learn more about a product or service, or in many cases, to purchase it. We're getting ready to go to Vegas, and I needed some shirts. I didn't have time to go out and get them, so I went on Amazon. And I had them delivered. Crazy, right? I don't even have to go to the store. Treasure and I use Instacart. We don't even go to the grocery store anymore. I don't remember the last time I went into the grocery store. It's all Instacart. We just have it delivered. I don't need to spend my time going places anymore. It just does, unless I have to, right? But it's not as necessary as it used to be. Without question, this applies to all aspects of real estate. If a buyer or seller is considering selling a home, they're not going to open up the newspaper. They're not going to open up Yellow Pages. They're going to go online, and they're going to see who has the best presence, who has the most reviews, right? Who has the most videos, the most blogs, who has the most, because that's what they're looking for. If we can't find you, we can't use you. If you offer a ton, but you have no content, nothing explaining or bragging or showing you off, you're probably going to get passed by someone else that's just loading it up. So again, you don't need a lot of quality. I hate to say that, but you do need quantity. You need to show that you're in the business, right? If I sell knives and all I ever talk about is pots and pans, you'll never know I sold knives. What happens when we search you now? I thought of quite a few names in here, and I searched a lot of you last night and this morning on Google. I wanted to see, and I was very impressed. I have to say I was very, very impressed. I saw a lot of branding. I saw a lot of your names just flood. Frankie was one of them. It just keeps going and going and going. I don't have to search too far. I don't have to go to the very bottom.
It's not updating though.
Well, you do have Allison James.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 or 5 spot, but above that it's Realty One Group Zoom, and you look good. You've got a powerful online presence. A lot of you do. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. If you don't know how to do it, the way to do it is you use your website all the time. The more times your website gets clicked, the higher placement you get. Did you ever notice that? Right? You're now visible. So drive people to your website. Use your website name all the time. Constantly talk about it. Every post you have should say joshandtreasure.com or whatever your website is, right? Over and over and over without fail. Begin building that the right way. We need to be where our customers are. If we're not, we're missing or losing opportunities on a very regular basis. All right, this is the meat and potatoes I want to talk to you about. We said something about videos. I asked you also about a Facebook business page. Here's what I've written. The goal is to create your Facebook business page and to attract customers to it. Having a business page allows you to expand your reach and exposure by boosting your post for $10. Okay? When I hired a social media manager not too long ago, I had them boost my post for $10. And then I would get a message saying, hey, you just got a credit for $200. You want to use it all? Run it. So I was paid $200 because my post on my business page was getting good engagement. Why was it getting good engagement? Because I was developing myself on Facebook, and so people kept seeing it over and over and over and engaging themselves. And when they engaged themselves, I was getting paid free money to now go to wider audiences. Having a Facebook business page is extremely
How long
important.
ago was that?
6 months ago, maybe?
So you don't run a targeted ad, you just boost it?
I do both.
Yeah.
I do both. They both work very well. This is just free money. And it'll give a quick boost to 15,000 people.
And it's
A
got
very quick boost to
$100
10,000.
$100 from Facebook for that.
Yeah.
You got $100 for Facebook for boosting?
Boost for 10, and if it does well, performs good, they'll pay you to do it again on their
They
dime.
give you $100 credit. Well,
Up to $250.
it depends
Really?
what it is. Yeah, I got $100 credit.
I'm gonna start boosting my posts instead of running ads. You know what I mean? Because that's how I normally do it. Like
Right.
I pick my target audience. Well, it's kind of screwed up right now with the way the housing laws.
Right. Lots of no.
Yeah.
I don't even,
No discrimination.
I don't even do that, because you can't, well, I don't know if you can do it or not, but I did one last night, I created a post last night, but I just have to leave it general, you know,
But
open to everybody, because
So I
you
think
have to
blocks
click
it.
I haven't
housing.
boosted a post in a long time, but you used to be able to do a radius around your area, so. 'cause
Anybody who
I've
would
boosted
drive in
posts
there.
before, and my buddy in Florida's like, dude, like, I'm seeing your shit all day long.
Yeah, I used to do, I do a radius, but you can't be selective as far as age groups and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
because
okay,
it's
so
the
you can
housing.
still do the radius?
But you can still do the radius,
Okay.
yeah, I only do 25 mile radius.
If you don't have your
I would
business
actually know
Facebook
right
page
now.
built, build it.
There's 300,000 people.
It's the most important thing you can do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
I cover Stockton, not I.
Algrove.
Remember, we talked earlier about this, the 3 CLP, right? 3 comments on other people's posts. Raise your hand if that's simple to do. I really need to see this. Okay. 3 likes of other people's comments on your post. Pretty simple to do, right? And then 3 of your own posts per week. That is the most simplest way you can do this, and it only should take you 20 minutes, but that is the bare minimum. I would tell you to step up your online presence and do 40 minutes a day, following this exact same measure. If you do this, your online presence goes through the roof. And we're not talking about someone seeing you, right? Or you becoming the god or goddess or queen or king of Facebook. What I'm talking about is you begin to get paid to let everyone know what your post is. And it becomes a full-time job where they just keep paying you credit after credit after credit after credit because your posts are so engaging. But it's really not that your posts are engaging, it's that you're working the algorithm and the system the exact way that it's designed to from a business Facebook page perspective. Okay? It's extremely important you do this. It gets me excited every time I see a $200 credit come by. I'm like, man, I could boost this to 25,000 people. I know that my post is so well done because we talk about it being a resume, and we talk about the next post we make must be very branded, right? And because that's going out, I automatically know I've got something great. I will get a buyer. I will get a seller. I'll get a lead at least, and then I'll put them in to a connection, and then I'll nurture them, and now I'll sit here and sell them. Close the deal. Okay? Create a time block, 20 minutes a day. It's the bare minimum that you can do. Your online presence should always have your online business card. Your one app gives you an advantage over other real estate agents who simply just have a regular website. Regular websites are good, but your one app gives you that advantage. You need client reviews. This is going to affect the level of interest in people working with you, not only with prospective buyers, but even so with potential sellers. If you want to become a listing agent, do videos. If you don't want to be a listing agent, don't do videos. It's that simple. I mean, I can't even tell you anything to make it harder. It's that simple. Drive traffic to your website. It's critical. You've got to promote in every marketing piece you distribute. Business cards, your email signature, your flyers, brochures, social media, for sale signs, everything's got to have your website on it. How many of you said you didn't do videos? Don't answer that. We want to talk about that for a second here, okay? Before we do, this is consistent, long-term follow-up. We said a seasoned client, a seasoned lead needs 6 to 12 months of nurturing. 6 to 12 months of nurturing. Now, if you can get that lead to convert in 2 months, perfect. And typically you can if you followed the system of the 3 CLP. That's not that hard. And if you put them in your database and you categorize them as, let's say it's a Riverbank lead. Your folder says Riverbank. And it was inquiring about a home that you posted. Put them into buyer. Right? It's really simple. A Riverbank buyer. Now they're going to get very specific material that goes out. But you've got to follow up with them 30 to 40 times a year. It's not hard if you have the annual campaign that we talked about. All right, according to National Association of Realtors, 73% of homeowners say they're more likely to list their home for sale with the realtor who offers to create a video for them. That's a major number. Only 4% of agents put their listings on YouTube. 4%. YouTube is more probably thought about nowadays for like slime making or I don't know, funny videos or pranks, I don't know, music videos, but not a lot of realtors. 4%. Crazy statistic.
So you're creating on Facebook, when you post something, there's only a limited lifespan because then it gets buried in the feed. When you put it on YouTube, it's forever content. So
Well, if you thumbnail it, yeah, you always,
yeah.
Hashtag.
hashtags and thumbnails too, you know, like say, if you're doing like videos for, like, how's the market? You know, what's going on in the market in your local area, or you're doing like informational videos, like as far as, one thing I like to do, and I'm trying to get all my videos converted over, but, like what to look for in a home inspection, you know, what the home inspectors look for. You know, it's just informational videos, so you got information, make thumbnail for informational, thumbnail for market updates, things like that, so that way when people visit your YouTube channel,
Oh, I got you.
they, instead of having to go through everything, they're going, oh, cool, let's check out what's going on in the
Have
market.
categories.
Or, yes, it's basically categorizing everything, so. I just have to.
If you
figure out
don't
how to
have a
convert it.
YouTube channel, your next homework assignment is to create one. If you don't and can't figure it out, keep practicing with it. Don't stop, don't give up.
There's
If you
plenty
don't,
of YouTube,
tutorials on how to create a YouTube. And if you don't know what to post or where to post, go in the signing room, close the door, and just practice with Videolicious. It's so simple. Practice. And it makes it so simple because it automatically adds the music. You just choose which one you want. Right? Beyond simple. YouTube now has over 1 billion users worldwide, just about the entire planet. Over 500 million people are watching videos on Facebook every day, according to Forbes. And yet the majority of real estate agents aren't using this. Dang. And if 73% of homeowners would just see that, you'd have a lot of listings. A lot of listings. All right, look at it like this, the significance of video marketing. 72 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every 60 seconds. 72 hours every 60 seconds. A third of online activity is spent watching video. Over half of video content is viewed on the phone. 92% of mobile video viewers share your video. Now you're becoming viral. Marketers who use video grow revenue 49% faster than non-video users. You want to grow your business 50% next year? Start doing videos. You want to get into the listing market? Start doing videos. You want to create the online presence and get paid to do it? Get the credits to do it? Videos. The average user spends 88% more time on a website with video. How significant do you want to be? If you want to have that significance in this marketplace, you got to do the videos. You got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. It's the only way that you're going to really create change, right? It's to actually change. That's it. All right? Remember your one habit? Your one habit, Cody and Jenny, they grew their business page from, what did they say, like 200 to almost 1,000 now? So now they have a very big video, or a very big platform, and they're now working their database. They're now creating database. How many do you have for your business page now?
We are at 932 as of this morning.
And what was your goal?
My goal was 1,000 by Christmas. Unfortunately, we didn't hit it. However, last year, that same time, we were at 342 prior to the one habit. So now we're at
Incredible.
932.
You know what I love about that? That's your database.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people in the database. And if those people get transferred into the CRM, they now become a lead. The object is to move them from a lead to a connection. And when you have that many hundreds of people as a connection, you can see why the referral business is insane. And it's automated. You walk away from it. They're getting touched 30 to 40 times a year, 3 to 4 times a month, and you just are always top of mind. if you have a grocery store in a population of 500,000 and you have a customer base that comes in and buys your bread, your milk, your wine, your cheese, and you have 3 customers, your business Facebook page only has 3 people. Maybe it only has 100 customers. Who are you catering to? You don't really have a customer base. You don't have anything that you can work with. The object is to build your business Facebook page. Build it. Build it, build it, build it. And the more you post, the more people want to go to your business page. And the more content you have, the more they think of you as being the real estate expert. Questions?